Okay, so I don't know if you have your book or not with you, but in your book on page 336 it tells you about your circle. So read the circle. It says that you have to be able to find out equations of circles of center 0, 0. In terms of circles of center 0, 0, the formula or the equation for them is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So there is nothing written after your x squared, there's nothing written after your y squared. So your center is 0, 0. The radius is the square root of whatever is written on the far side of the equal sign. So if there's an example, it says find the equation of the circle with center 0, 0 and radius 3. You write down your formula. So you go x squared and y squared is r squared. Don't do anything to your x squared and your y squared, but you plug in your value. You plug in 3 instead of your r, so you get 9. Right? For the next one, it said r was 1 1/4. So you write your 1 1/4 as a fraction, right, which is your 5/4. Okay, plug it into your value, so you go x squared and y squared is your 5/4 squared. Square that properly, so you're multiplying the top by 5, so you're getting 25, you're multiplying the bottom by 4, so you're getting 16. Okay, to tidy it up, to make it look nicer, what they have done is they've brought the 16 across, so they have got 16x squared and 16y squared is 25. Okay, so that was page 336 of the book. Example 2, it says find the equation of the circle with center 0, 0, which contains the point 4 minus 1. So we have to find an equation. Again, we've been told it's center 0, 0, so you know that that means the equation is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. In order to do this, we have to work out the r. So for this, they have not given us an r, so we have to find the distance, the length from the center to the edge. How you do that is by using your line formula for distance, which is on page 18 of the log tables. So you'd write it down, so you'd have your point, label your points, x1, y1, x2, y2, and plug them into the distance formula. So you would have x2 minus x1 in brackets to be squared, plus y2 minus y1 in brackets to be squared. Multiply it out, and in this case they get root 17. Do not work out root 17 on a calculator because it will not be even, so you'll end up with decimals. Because when you're plugging into your equation, you are having root 17 squared, so it will just stay as 17. If you had worked out the decimal, it would end up actually being 16.9 something or other. Alright, next part. It says find the radius when given an equation. So it says a circle whose equation is x squared plus y squared is r squared has the center 0, 0 and the radius r. So if you have to find the length and radius of different circles, it's very, very simple. You just match the formulas. The first one is a very easy one. The formula is x squared plus y squared equals some number. So this number represents your r squared, so your r is the square root of that number. The second example is slightly sneakier, right? They've got your x squared and y squared is equal to a number, but in terms of this, you do not have 1x squared and 1y squared. So you have to get it in the form 1x and 1y, so you divide all the way across by 9. So you'll get x squared plus y squared equals 16 over 9. So your r in this case is the square root of 16 over 9, so your r is square root of 16, which is 4, square root of 9, which is 3. Okay, there are the examples. Okay, next little bit is to do points and circles. So, in terms of the book, it tells you if there is a point inside the circle, the distance from the center to that point is less than the radius. That makes sense? If a point's on the circle, the distance from the point to the center is the radius. And if it's outside, the distance will be bigger than the radius. So how you solve these is if they have given you an equation of a circle. So if you look at the example here, they have given us an equation of a circle. They want to know if 2 points, so 1 minus 3 and 3 minus 2 are inside, outside, or on. What you do is you plug in your 1 instead of the x, your minus 3 instead of the y. So when you plug it in, you would get 1 squared plus minus 3 squared. So you're getting 1 and 9, which gives you 10. 10 is less than 13. So you know it's inside. For the next one, you would go 3 squared plus minus 2 squared, so you get 9 plus 4, 9 plus 4 equals 13, so 13 equals 13, so you know it's on the circle. So if they ask you to show if a point is on, in, or outside a circle, you plug the values into the equation. Okay, and that is explained on the top of page 340. So, if x squared plus y squared is less than your r squared, it's inside. If it's equal to your r squared, it's on it. If it is bigger than it, it's outside. Okay,